Hello, guys, and welcome. It's episode 4 of Bears Brunch, and today I am joined by Cristina Gonzalez and Shanda Danielle. How are you, ladies?
Doing
I'm
well.
great. I
Nice.
can't believe it's the fourth episode, though. I'm
It
trying to
is.
do like an 80s throwback, to try to motivate the Bears to like a better time. So
Yes.
I wore my
Good
big
vibes.
old shades.
Thought it was going to be
Kind of
the
crooked
Macho
now.
Man Randy Savage attempt.
Well, I mean, if we can do anything to motivate them, I've got an older jersey on, I got the glasses, whatever brings them back to like nostalgia that motivates them to realize like we play football. We play football here, and this is how we do it. So
We have not played football lately.
No.
We're going to talk
no,
about
so I'm
that.
trying to remind them what we're about. I'm just throwbacks. That's all it is.
With the brunch table is getting bigger and better. We need to start probably doing mimosas and Bloody Marys with the show, really.
Mm.
Are you serving them up? I
I mean, I
thought
could. Like, if we do a show together.
That's what we're about.
True.
I mean, we do have Savastanos who says we can show up and do the old school Dub Bears show.
Oh, I love the Bears.
Sit down with some deep dish and
Oh, yeah.
I'm all about the beefs. So
You've said that before. I have. You know how many people have talked to me about smoked bologna because of that show? They're like, you didn't know about bologna, and then they talk to me about bologna now, and I'm just like, that's the thing I'm known for is us talking about bologna.
Thanksgiving smoked bologna.
Ooh, yeah. Mexican has to make it spicy, whatever it is. It needs to have some sort of jalapenos or something on it.
Well, that's the good thing about the Italian beef: roast beef, gravy, and then hot peppers on top, and you're good.
You know? I don't know.
Well, not like gravy. What you're thinking?
I'm thinking Oklahoma style, like Southern gravy.
No, so basically, au jus. Sorry, au jus.
Okay, au jus. Okay, I can do some au jus. I'm not a gravy fan though.
Oh, you're not a gravy
I
fan?
lived in Mexico, and I learned I don't like hot. Like I thought I liked hot as an American, as a white American, and then I moved to Mexico and I said that I could handle heat. No, I can't. I'm a big baby. They have a total definition of heat that I didn't understand. So no, I can do mild at best. Because their version of hot is not my version of hot. Like, it was unreal. So no, I don't like hot at all. Baby, mild.
Give it to me hot, except for mango habanero, because that's just sweet.
Oh, I love mango habanero.
I like habanero. I just don't like that whole like give me something sweet, and I'm like, ooh, this is.
Ooh, but if you get some Buffalo Wild Wing type, like mango habanero, like it's mainly habanero.
Yeah, I've had the one that's like been like it tastes like someone poured mango juice over something to try to hide that they had made it too hot.
Yeah, that's not how it should be made.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it out better though. Hopefully this week gets better. I mean, I'll go ahead and show the graphic. I'm sure we all remember this. 41-25. That was the final on what we thought could be good. It just wasn't. It was a horrible game to have to watch. I yelled. I lost some friends.
I had people messaging me being like, oh, look at I sent them messages. I was like, I thought we were friends. And you're like, we are. Not if you're messaging me today. Today, we are not friends. Don't talk to me during this.
Yeah, you're not a real fan if you don't lose fans when your team's losing. So
yes,
I had messaging me. I'm like,
I had to take my mom to lunch on Monday to apologize about a couple of things.
All right.
Yeah, it got bad. It was bad off the first drive. Like I watched, I continued to watch. I wanted to put the TV through the window, but I didn't. Aaron Rodgers was lights out. You can't say anything else. Aaron Rodgers did exactly what Aaron Rodgers does, and that is just annihilate teams because he continues to play like this. If he can make a longevity run, I think he could give Tom Brady a run for his money on being the greatest quarterback, if possible.
Honestly, and we had said that too. I mean, we were kind of looking at it like I was the optimist and you two were the realist, and that we really thought that if he played ball, we would lose. So it was kind of the worst case scenario come true, but we just didn't expect our defense to. I felt like we just gave up. But I mean, on everything I read and when I was looking at it, We've been expecting the defense, though, to score. We've really been expecting the defense to pull the whole load because we've just sucked so bad. So, I mean, as players, did they play like the defense I expect? No, not at all. But I feel like they've been pulling it so long. How can you really, I mean, you can be upset with them because they didn't play well, but at the same time, the offense hasn't played well for how many games? So now we're mad that the defense is matching the offense. I mean, well, that's kind of how I felt. But I'm always the nice one, so it's usually me just being nice, whereas everybody else is just like, defense, get it together.
Well, yeah, but like the 29th ranked offense in the league, trying to go up against a very good Aaron Rodgers and company, and then trying to rely heavily on a defense to stop Aaron Rodgers, play in and play out and carry the load for the team. Trubisky first game back, and O-line did an okay job keeping the pocket clean, but they're shuffling guys around.
I think maybe been good coming back, though. I really think that he did also what we said. He came back and tried to play ball because I don't think he'll be here next year, which I don't think anyone thinks he is. So I think that he came out and performed exactly what we thought. He's going to try to show out for the next few games to get recruited out somewhere else. But what does that leave the Bears for the rest of the season? I mean, where does that leave us right now? And
that's what we'll talk about here in a bit. I was really impressed with how well Green Bay's offensive line looked.
Oh, I was like, what were you impressed with the Bears show?
They didn't come out, a lot of people thought that they were struggling, kind of like the Bears were. People were able to early on in the season get to Aaron Rodgers, like we were talking about, get to Aaron Rodgers, put pressure on him. He's getting older, make him think, make him move, make him do things. But the Bears, they really thought, okay, this is our shot. If we can just make Aaron Rodgers mess up, that gives us more chances, which is the elementary football defensive thought.
And I think what was the first game in 7 games where Conswith didn't have a tackle for a loss.
Yeah.
The crazy stat. I mean, that's a huge streak for any defensive player, but I mean, they kept the defense for the Bears under check.
Yeah, it was definitely not what you were expecting to happen. I thought that there was going to be a little bit more play to it, but there wasn't. It was awful. Right out the gate, I knew as soon as Aaron Rodgers moved the ball down the field, I was like, oh, we're done. Yeah. We're done. There was no easing into the game.
But I was just hoping we'd turn it around. No. I was just like, come on. And then after the first couple, I was like.
Well, and then there was no, if you looked at the players on the sideline, there was absolutely no, there was no like, hey, let's go. It was just, yeah, this is exactly what we thought. Mitch is out there. We can't get anything started. There was no run game, which we knew.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of predicted that one.
When he bought time and he got out of the pocket, there was nobody open.
Yeah, it kind of just the whole morale for the team with Nagy at the head has just been very poor. It doesn't really seem like anyone really believes in what he's doing or trying to do or his whole system. So, whenever that's kind of the whole outlook for the team, it really shows in their play.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a game that as soon as I watched it, I said, burn the whole damn thing down. That was exactly where I went to. I was just done. That's why the first thing that came up on Monday morning was rebuild on the Instagram.
I have a hard time because I've been a Bears fan for probably over 20 years.
You shouldn't have a hard time. You should know this is exactly what has to happen.
You gotta listen. And that's where, unfortunately, for I think the first time in my lifetime, I'm really for just, you guys need to do something different. I've always been the eternal optimist and like the Bears can pull through. You guys need to change something. You guys need to. So I fully support the rebuild. You need to fire and try again because we suck. And I love the Bears. Like, I'm a diehard Bears fan, but we don't have a chance in actually doing this. And our point is to win football games. I'm not just a Bears fan because I like orange and blue. I am a Bears fan because I want you to win. And I don't think we can do it with the team we have now. So rebuilding is honestly
What's up?
What's the percentage on the playoff?
25.4, 25.6% chance right now as is that the Bears will make the playoff. Now, going forward, they're playing a bunch of 500, sub 500 teams. So each win, obviously that percentage goes up. But
I don't want to talk about the next game yet. I was about to bring up that.
Yeah, it's I mean that's a good stat. Like, you know, you got people like my mom who's like, well, it took 13 weeks to get into the losing, to be a losing team, and I'm like, yeah, only 13 weeks, Mom. Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
We all started out, and it's shitty. I hate it. But I do love
that told us what we were talking about.
Yeah. I do, and she's good. She knows numbers, and she broke even this week with our buddies at Monkey Knife Fight.
No, I missed having the bar over there to tell the people what we're talking about. Last week you had a really cool thing.
Oh yeah. No.
I'm not talking about her. She is cool. I like her more than you. She's nicer.
Hey, yeah. Well, that's good. Somebody's got to equal it out, But
right? It's all about balance.
Yeah, we haven't had her on a bad day. We don't know. We've always had her on a good day.
Yeah, that's very true.
Man City's winning. I mean,
I've been up since like 2:30 though, so
this is not a bad day in Bear Country. I don't know what is because we just lost to the Packers.
I did the 3 o'clock mornings with Korean baseball during the pandemic. Yeah. Korean baseball is cool. I love Korean baseball now. Like I hope
I like a lot of Korean things, so I'm all for the Asian cultures.
I don't like PTSD or whatever the name of that band is that has that Dynamite song.
Like the disease?
I don't like PTSD.
Yeah, what's the initials? I can't remember.
Oh, the like the K-pop stuff?
Yeah.
BTS.
BTS.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you know what I mean when I said it? I said it.
PTSD.
I actually listened to them.
My daughter likes that stupid song from the Samsung commercial.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't like commercials, but I actually listen to K-pop music.
No. Monkey Knife Fight doesn't have a K-pop betting, but they do have a lot of fun with your daily sports fantasy gaming website, and casual sports fans love it because it's simple, fun, and easy to play. Users determine their superstars competing in the day's professional sporting events and will record more or less than the contest line provided. Monkey Fight's daily fantasy prop games play similar to the salary cap-based DFS games, but without the algorithms, lineups, and most importantly, sharks. There are several contests to choose from, none of which require hours of research required on competing sites. Start with a simple 2-2 or go for the highest payouts, 100 times and higher, by selecting an 8-8 more or less contest. Get started now with 100% instant match bonus of up to $50 with our promo code Bears Brunch, which is right across the front. You can get on, download the app. You won't regret it. Cristina, you said you broke even. What was the high of the day for that? Like, where were you like super excited? Like, ooh, I might be able
to. My main bet was going to be on the Chicago game, over under on Trubisky and Aaron Rodgers. But I started to watch the second half of the Browns Jaguars game. Got that win with predicting Mayfield went over 107.5 passing yards in the second half. Glennon went right under 107.5. Got that win, and then. Man, Patrick Mahomes should never bet against that guy.
Don't.
He met 340 yards per game in the first quarter. So, yeah, I was like, there's no way against Tampa Bay he's going to get, that many yards. Like, he's good, but, I mean, nope. First quarter, he easily got it. So,
yeah, it was an insane game.
It was, yeah. I
got on for some of that. I think Mahomes sees stuff like that. I think Mahomes sees money lines and stat lines, and he's like,
he wants to. I'm going to destroy that.
Yeah, he's super competitive. His dad actually hit me in the kidneys with a baseball during adult baseball when I lived in Tyler.
Jeez.
Yeah, we played like an adult league game, and he was the pitching on the other team. And
that scar, if there's a scar.
There's no scar, but I definitely was like, oh, that's a major league pitch right there, even at his age.
Oh, yeah.
That hurt.
That's
What's crazy
cool, though.
is my
It's
home
an awesome
just
story.
recently is like, oh, I just learned how to read defenses. What? You were doing all that and you didn't know how to read a defense?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
God,
he could have.
crazy.
He was drafted into MLB.
Oh yeah.
Mahomes was. He could have went D1 in basketball. He could have D1 in any sport. He was a track. They would put him on for track meets out in White House. It was because I lived out there right as he was going into his senior year of high school until he was at Tech. And yeah, it was crazy. Like I went to a basketball tournament and saw him play before he hurt his ankle. He had an ankle injury during basketball season, but he was, I mean, it was just like, wow. And they're like, yeah, he's going to go play football at Tech, or he could be drafted in the MLB this year. And I was like, shit.
I
Now
mean,
here he is.
same thing with Kyler Murray, got drafted into Major League, and then NFL came calling.
Yep. And he threw that money away. I mean,
well, he's doing well. Probably the right decision for him.
Right. See, and that's the thing. Like Tom Brady and John Elway, they did the same thing.
Yep.
Tom Brady was drafted by the Expos, and he said, "No, I'm going to go play football." And everybody's like, "No, go play baseball. You're slow and not athletic." And 25 years later,
such a grueling season, though. 160 game season.
Yeah, but it's less wear and tear on the body.
It is. It is. Yeah. I mean, you're not constantly getting tackled by 300-pound people. So.
Right. I know baseball season doesn't start till February, but with the way that things are going with the Cubs right now, we might have to jump on and do a Cubs show here pretty quick because
very cool.
It is looking.
I'm White Sox though. I'm a Cubs fan and doing a White Sox show.
Hey,
White Sox.
There was they had a dude jump ship yesterday. Lancaster.
I know. We were talking about it. I was so
doing
excited.
The rebirth of Harry Carey. Harry Carey left the White Sox to go to the Cubs. This guy's leaving the Cubs, go to the White Sox. I'm excited. I'm interested to see what happened because it sounds like shit went south with somebody. I don't know what that is.
I'm excited about it. I saw that and I was like, yay!
So we have to talk about the future of all Chicago sports, it sounds like. But this is the Bears Show, and we've only got you guys for 55 minutes because we try to get off here before the noontime starts so that you can get whatever it is you're doing, get that Miller Lite, get the dogs going for the game. But we got to rebuild the whole damn thing. That's the first thing in my show notes is future of the Chicago Bears, rebuild the whole damn thing. I really believe Nagy will not be back unless that 25% chance happens.
Unless 25% turns into a Super Bowl win or a super deep playoff run.
Yeah, like NFC championship.
Yeah.
I honestly, 3 other teams have gotten rid of their head coaches this year. And so I really think that the Bears are going to be someone that at the end of the season does as well. I mean, 3 teams have done it during this year.
Yeah. Well, those are teams that don't have a shot. I don't think they're going to do that.
How high are they ranking above us then? What did you say we do? I mean, really and realistically, like we really don't.
I mean, they have a shot. They do have a shot. If things can turn around, if something happens, like Cristina was saying, they're playing sub 500, 500.
They technically have a shot, but honestly, with our team is not. We are not Super Bowl winners this year. And I'm the eternal Bears optimist, but we are not Super Bowl winners this year. So, yeah, we have a shot for playoffs. But do you honestly think we're a Super Bowl team this year?
Yeah, but if they do get to the playoffs and they have the arguments and they have different things like that, it's all about what's going on. I don't think that Nagy will be the only thing that has to be replaced. I think they need to get Ryan Pace the hell out of Chicago.
I think we're going to change Pace, Mitch, and Nagy. I honestly think it's going to be a clean house. Or I think they should Pace, Nagy, Mitch. Done.
I mean, I think they need to, like you're saying, I think they just really need a clean house. I mean, at this point in the season, no one really believes on the team and this organization or what they're doing. And when you don't have that faith, then, I mean, you're not going to do that. So really, it's looking at who are they going to bring in next season as the head coach.
Well, and there's some good possibilities. They were talking about a few different coaches. 2 of them college coaches have really popped up on the radar. Pat Fitzgerald from Northwestern, which everybody in Chicagoland loves. He's a great coach. He's a game manager. He's a team manager. He's
Mhm.
a head coach in the sense that, he believes in his staff. He puts together things. He lets them do what they need to do. If he's got to go and get in the middle of something, he will. But he is a very overall, he's great at overseeing teams and cultures, and people want to play for him. The cool thing about that is Fitzgerald said the only way he's leaving Northwestern is for a Bears job. So could be the next guy coming in out. There's been quite a few guys making the transition this past season. What was it? Cliff Kingsbury, was it last season that he made the transition?
A couple seasons ago from Texas Tech to Arizona.
Yeah, and then Baylor's coach now is at the Carolina Panthers. He took over there. So
that was a little messy transition, but yeah.
Yeah. But there's guys that are finally seeing it, that the NFL has done its due diligence to make sure that football is played differently than the college game. But
starting to get two quarterbacks who mimic what's going on in college. The scrambling quarterbacks who get outside of the pocket and who have a dual threat. Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, or Baker Mayfield, even though he less than in college, scrambles now for the Browns, but really looking at those versatile quarterbacks who can, not only be a pocket passer, but who can take off when need be.
Well, and the cool thing too is, I think it was really the transition there with Jared Goff when McVay got there. He took over for Fisher. Fisher wanted to draft Jared Goff and change Jared Goff into a player that Jared Goff wasn't. And he just looked like shit. I mean, the whole thing, because he was trying to make him be a player that he wasn't. Right. And then when McVay got there, he was like, no, look, you did all of these things really, really well. We're going to do all of these things really, really well. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take you and throw you into some system that's not ever going to use your strengths. I mean, that would be like me telling Cristina, you know what, I think I'm just going to make you a surgeon because you have a doctorate and you went to med school, but I know you came to my company as a pharmacist, but no, you're going to be an orthopedic surgeon today.
Cool. Just give me that, man.
Yeah, and then people are like, hey, why is my knee backwards? And it's like, oh, well,
Is it not supposed to look that way?
This look like my knee from my soccer days. Here's you some pain pills. Go deal with it. So that's kind of how football has been. Let's get these guys. Let's try to bring them up in the way that we need to. And we're starting to see more success on the field where, hey, why are we doing this? If there's one way that football is being played, then we need to look at it, because it wasn't a play based off of your abilities at that point. I feel like once you're 19, 20 years old, your abilities will only get better because you practice, but what your strengths are already built.
Yeah, and I think it was the overwhelming consensus save the last few years within the NFL that if you're going to be quarterback in the NFL and you're going to be successful, you have to be a Tom Brady type quarterback. You have to be an Aaron Rodgers type quarterback. You have to be a pocket passer and pick apart defenses, but then you get a Lamar Jackson coming in and people are like, holy crap. I mean, that works too.
Yeah. You have so many more options. It's like, all right, if you can't find anything and you're checking down, then get gone.
I mean, if you can have a quarterback that can go through all of his progresses, go through all his reads, still doesn't see anything, and who can take off, I mean, why not let them?
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's that fear that the quarterback's going to get hurt, but, even those guys who, were not sliding, obviously, in college football, I mean, they've learned to slide now. So, but they can still pick up a good 8 or 10 yard chunk every time they take off.
Kyler Murray's the best slider in the game, but that's also because he was drafted by the A's. So,
he used to be an MLB prospect. So,
yeah, I think that's I don't like the sliding rule. I don't like where, I get it, like it's where the slide starts or whatever, but I mean, there's so many times that you can see that where that just jeopardizes people. Like they just go into that slide and it's like, well, you could have had a first down had you done it right. I like to watch when Brady slides though, because it's more of like that pudgy kid that was in Little League that slides and he just kind of plops down.
Like I would look.
Kind of more just an abrupt stop and he just sits.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't been hurt, but he doesn't get out of that pocket that much. But Pat Fitzgerald is one of the top names on the list. Also, one that me and Cristina kind of follow a lot is Lincoln Riley, the Oklahoma coach. he was on the radar for the Cowboys, but I don't think he wanted to go to the shit show that is and will always be Dallas Cowboys. As you can see, Mike McCarthy can't even do anything there, and he's done a lot. I think the Bears would be a good fit for Lincoln.
I do. Lincoln really had his come up with OU under Bob Stoops as their offensive coordinator. And he, OU's offense has always been explosive the last few seasons, but he's taken a lot of transfer quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and, made these guys into his system and created explosive offenses. That's what the Bears need, honestly, is they need a offensive-minded head coach who can really get them in gear. Really with under Lincoln Riley, the biggest struggles for OU has been the defense. But, he brought in Alex Grinch from Ohio State 2 years ago. And now, their defense this year has made drastic changes and actually getting turnovers and stuff, which is something, if Lincoln can get a really good defensive-minded guy into Chicago, I mean, their defense already has a solid core, but get a defensive coordinator who can really get them to up the interceptions, up the turnovers, then they're, I think they're going to be set for next season.
Right. Well, and I think too with that defensive coordinator situation, it might be the defense is just worn out. I mean, they're exhausted. They never get off the field.
But Mac is my favorite. If you guys hurt Mac, I'm highly offended because
Mac's not going anywhere. That was the best trade we've had in 5 years.
He'll stay around.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to get rid of him, but he was hurt in the last game, and so I feel like the defense is definitely worn out. I'm standing up for my defense on the fact that Mac got hurt, so we are abusing our defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
And that
might just be standing up for Mac.
Right, and that all stems from not having an offense who can stay on the field for long drives, or he was going 3 and out constantly, or turning the ball over. I mean, that's a lot. And you're putting the impetus on the defense not only to stop the points, but to score the points too.
Yeah.
So no wonder why we went against Green Bay, who is an amazing team, and we looked like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've expected the defense to pull us for the last 5 games that we've lost. And this is the first time, if we lose this 6th game, it'll be the first time since 2002 that we've lost 6 in a row. That's saying almost 20 years that we've been better than this.
We always bitch about being bad, but we're not this bad where we're to this point.
In 18 years, we haven't been this bad. That's why, as the eternal optimist Poppy, I have to be you've got to do something different. Because in 20 years, I haven't seen it that bad.
Yeah.
The numbers are on the Bears side. They have the overall advantage versus the Lions, and Nagy's 5-0 against the Lions. Trubisky historically has been really good the last 4 matchups against the Lions. His QBR has been over 100, averaging in the 60% pass completion rates, only 1 turnover, 1 interception. So
but Darrell Bevel took interim, and everyone that's lost their head coach this year, the 3 teams, when they've came back and had their interim coaching, they've won that next game. Mm-hmm. Every team has. So the Lions, even though stat-wise we're not predicted, every other team this year that has done what the Lions are doing has came back and won that next game. So honestly, are we saying that we look good enough that we're going to beat them? Because team morale is going to go up. There's a lot.
Matt Patricia was more of a Belichick kind of person where he had to try to build a system. So they fired Matt Patricia, but I don't think that they fired Matt Patricia on the basis of he was a horrible play caller or the offense or whatever. It really comes down, I believe, to Bevel and to the rest of the crew on why they're not that good. I mean, he's been play calling the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Patricia's not play calling. It's a totally different thing. The teams that seem to do better once they do get that off it's more of a morale thing where, okay, now we're going to go play. Now we're going to go prove that this was the problem, that we're not the problem. And that's where you see that is you get these players that end up with this chip on their shoulder and they're like, hey, we're going to go and we're going to try and prove to the entire city, to the entire team, to the entire ownership that we were not the problem. The problem sat right there with the headset on, talking to us either in the booth or on the field, whether it be the head coach, the offensive coordinator, whoever they let go. That's who they're trying to prove is the problem. Is it's not the team, it's the coaches, it's it's the administrative stuff. It's that end of it that they're trying to prove wrong. And I don't think that's going to happen with the play calling on.
So you still think that the Lions won't be able to pull it off?
I don't think the Lions have it. I don't think the Lions have what they need to have for it. Yeah, they've won against some teams. They've pulled some out, which firing at the time that they did is a little weird, but I think that they'll be fine. I do think, though, with the situation with the coaching staff, there's one name that's between two teams in the NFC North, which Detroit and Chicago, that is very interesting for possible coaching is the offensive coordinator at Kansas City, Eric Bieniemy. I can't really ever say his name right. His name has been thrown out amongst the Lions a lot this week. Also, John Dorsey, since they got rid of the GM. It's kind of talking that they could be a package deal for a team. A lot of people liked Dorsey as a GM. Some people don't. I think anytime you go to Cleveland and you do anything, it's going to probably ruin your chances. Yeah. And I think the Cleveland Browns are kind of one of those teams like the Cowboys where you end up with this stigma that if you go and you do anything, you can't do anything else because you were there and it was just a shit show. Well, the problem is ownership at that point. I think Dorsey did a good job in Kansas City. When he went to Cleveland, yeah, I understand it went south. But I think it would be great. I think it would be a good fit. They're both great. Dorsey's more of a culture builder and team. I think right now with the Bears quarterback situation, they need to figure out what they're going to do, and they need to do it quick because they need to let that quarterback or that head coach draft a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I mean, realistically, Trubisky's not going to be there.
No,
we can all know this with what Foles' remaining contract is. He's going to still be there. Whether he's going to be the starter or not next year remains to be seen. But, really what's going to be hopefully for the next head coach for Chicago is who's your first pick? Is it a quarterback? Do we rebuild the offensive line? A lot of the experts are saying, they're going for a star offensive lineman.
Well, and that would be smart.
With pocket clean, then it doesn't matter who your quarterback is, honestly.
Right. Well, right now, let's see here. Let me see if I can find it. According to Tankathon, we would have the 13th pick in the draft if the draft happened today. So you've got to think. There's teams that are right there. The Jets, Jacksonville, Dallas, even Cincinnati would probably be looking at a quarterback with their situation with the ACL tear with Burrow. You would think that they would be looking as well. Carolina, Washington, Detroit, Atlanta. They're all right there. Atlanta and Detroit's got older quarterbacks, so they may be trying to think, let's start retooling for the future. So your top tier quarterbacks would probably be gone by that point.
Yeah, I don't really see Cincinnati trying to get a quarterback, maybe trading out for one or trading up a pick down the line, second, third round or something like that to get a more veteran quarterback just in case Joe Burrow, doesn't heal properly. But, I've seen a lot of the Chicago fans are really wanting them to try to draft Ian Book from Notre Dame, but most likely he's going to be gone pretty fast.
Right. Yeah, no, they're looking at him like top 5 pick in the draft. So they would have to do some trading. That's the problem with Chicago is sometimes they don't think in terms of football. They think in terms of pleasing the fans. But really what would please the fans is to win. And so the question kind of remains is what if you could build a great offensive line for Nick Foles? Would Nick Foles be better? You've lost a lot of fans who would say yes or no, or say yes, he would be. They would be like, nah, he's not good at all.
Right.
But that's the thing is most fans were not analytical. We have the information that we were given, and we make our opinions based upon that. I would definitely hope that they would go for an offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the smartest go there. And there's always that weird quarterback that falls, and you're looking for it. You had Aaron Rodgers who fell. You had a few other quarterbacks that fell that just you didn't expect to fall. Something happened. So there's always that, but you run that risk of finding it. Do you trade? What do you do? Where is it at? I think this year's draft will be very, very interesting in Chicago, especially if Nagy's no longer here and Pace is no longer here. What is the game plan? Do you bring Trubisky back?
Who do you think they would replace Pace with? Who would you pick? If you picked the 3, who would you pick? I want to know you and your predictions. If you were picking to replace Pace, Nagy, and Mitch.
I would more than likely pick Fitzgerald. I think Fitzgerald has just an overall kind of feel for the game. I think he would fit in Chicago very well. As far as GMs, I'm not really sure. I can jump on the Chicago bandwagon and say bring Theo Epstein to the NFL and let's see what Theo can do. I think that would be kind of cool. But as far as a quarterback, I just don't see it being smart to trade up for something. Because you're going to have to get rid of a big piece to get that trade to even where people would want to find it worth it.
Yeah.
So, maybe hold on to Foles for a season, see if they can't find something a diamond in the rough, or pick up somebody else that you got to have an offensive line. I think Foles would be better if Foles had an offensive line. He could stay in the pocket and not be a mobile quarterback, and he could have a run game. And that's where a lot of people don't think. They just think, oh, you got to protect the quarterback. Well, you also got to make holes for your running back.
Well, and I think too, they might even need to look at a running back, maybe not first or second round, but look at it. Another running back, because Montgomery has averaged maybe 4 yards, about 4 yards.
Right.
With a struggling offensive line, which is who's to say what he would do with a well-built, sound offensive line, but
he came out during that Rams game. That Rams game, he had some good runs.
Yeah.
But that was really just kind of a flash in a bucket type of thing.
Right. And, obviously if Foles is going to be the quarterback next season, he's going to have a well-established running game to give him,
And I don't think Foles will be on the team.
Right.
I just don't know that. I mean, I don't think I can't say. I don't know who will start, honestly, but I don't think they'll get rid of Foles, especially if they're getting rid of Mitch. Or I don't think it would be wise, especially, he's got contract left and all that. Replace the 3 and let's see how we do next year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's the thing is it's all next year, and it's all stuff that we'll be talking about all through the off season during the Bears Brunch off season that we'll all be having as well. So, I mean, that's one thing. I do know that I am happy to say we have another new sponsor, and they sent us a commercial because they're badasses. Yay! All of our coffee drinkers, we got Death Ink Coffee. Go to deathinkcoffee.com. You can sign up for their subscription base. If you're lazy and you don't like to put pants on, kind of like Cristina and I, you don't ever have to worry about doing it because you can just go to your mailbox. They'll ship it to you. They'll ship you £1 a week or every other week or a month. You let them know how you want the subscription. They do it. The cool thing about it is it is highly caffeinated. It's got like 130 milligrams of caffeine per 2 fluid ounces. 200 milligrams.
Yeah, 200 milligrams is a standard cup of coffee. So they're giving you about 4 times a punch there.
Yes. So don't try to sue Bears Brunch if you drink it and shit goes south. Just know that we're
responsible.
Yeah. Drink responsible. It's not my job. I'm not Anheuser-Busch. But check it out. They're kind of cool. They're kind of dark. They're kind of like the hot topic of, which I'm so sorry I said that to you, bud.
Ooh, yeah.
They're like the metal coffee. So check it out. Here's your commercial. It's really fun. We'll be right back after that to talk about this upcoming game here in about 20 minutes. Thank you at Death Ink Coffee for all you do. Remember, check out deathinkcoffee.com. Get you some coffee. I like to sneak it into the office coffee sometimes and watch everybody run around like little
Fun
chihuahuas.
experiment.
Yeah. They're like my little lab rats sometimes. Like, let's see what we can do.
Oh God.
Yeah, you don't want to work in the office with me. So now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of the show. We kind of spent a lot of time on the recap. Sorry about that. We're just getting all of our anger out. Sometimes it's good to talk about things and discuss it. But it's time to discuss what is up next. Here at noon starts the Bears and Lions, which I thought was kind of cool. Bears are really pushing on the Instagram, the whole Lion King thing. I saw that post. It was like the reverse. The Lions were down and a bear was up on top of Pride Rock from
like the final.
And then they did a Wizard of Oz one. They kept the flying monkeys out of, which was awesome because those things are scary as hell.
Yeah, man.
My kid watched that movie and she came and got on my lap and she's like, we were watching like when the Munchkin Land came out and she was just like, Daddy, those aren't kids. I was like, no, they are not. It was it's a weird show. But like every week, the Bears need to win. They're 5-6. We need to get back to 500. We do have the odds against us 5-0 for Nagy against the Bears or against the Lions. He's kind of not very good against the Bears right now.
Nope.
Matt. So
5-0 against the Bears too.
Yeah, he's about 0-5. Yeah, in the past 6 weeks. What was you said? What was it like 4-1 for Trubisky?
He's last 4 games he's been 4-0, I believe, against the Lions, but he's had really good stats. Only 1 interception, QBR over 100 each game, and in the 60s for completed passing percentage.
So great odds.
He dominated the Lions per se in the last 4 meetings.
And sometimes players just have that one team's number. I mean, you see it a lot. You see it a lot more in baseball and basketball, where you've got more games going on in a season, where it's just like, wow, like you guys lose to that team, or you guys, he just has their number. Not saying that he's a bad quarterback. It's just he has their number. We've also got what Nagy said in the press conference, which I think is just complete bullshit. It bothers me really bad. Like, I hate it. I hate even talking about it. But we are now 0-0.
Yeah, I don't. Again, his whole motivating factors and speeches and one-liners just don't sit well with me. I don't think they really sit well with the team. They don't make no sense. So
this is why I hate John Gruden. John Gruden has
for many reasons.
Well, yeah, but this right here, especially now, like in this whole situation, is everything has just kind of become a punchline or a one-liner or some little quip that look at me, I'm this. Like, that's all John Gruden has become, really, and I feel like that's all Matt Nagy. So Matt Nagy says that they're focused on one game at a time. This win will make them 1-0, but really it'll make them 6-6. So it would really make them 0-0 if you canceled everything out. Way to not do math, Matt Nagy. Guess what football is full of? Math, and you're not good at math, and that's why you suck. So, keep proving to us everything with your stupid little sunfire. Oh, God.
Man, it's reach into a bucket of cliches and decide to pull one out each week.
Yeah. No days off. Is that going to be your next one?
One day at a time.
Yeah. Joe Madden had the best quote or the best slogan in Chicago ever with the Cubs. Don't suck. That was the motto. Don't suck. It's easy. It's a fun one. People love it. It made a great shirt. Don't suck. Just like the Don't Be a Bitch, Start Mitch shirt. That was a great idea. We'll also be selling Rebuild sweater vest like Mike did.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Gotta have the Ditka sweater. It says Rebuild. So
make it Argyle. I'll rock it.
Hey, I will. Yes, let's do it.
Make it a
with no shirt on underneath it, though.
Yeah.
Do that like that. Try to pull that look off. The sweater vest with the no shirt.
Sweater vest, no shirt.
Yeah. Getting on the show.
Full on sweater vest.
Yeah, full on sweater vest. That's going to be the whole deal now. Is everybody's got a sweater vest. I love sweater vests.
I do. I love that. Sweater vests are great.
Ditka, he wore a sweater vest. Doug, he wore a sweater vest. That was a great cartoon in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
I had a green sweater vest.
Stop watching.
I wore a leather sweater in high school, so I like try to bring back the 1950s look.
I brought back some Argyle grandpa style sweater vests in high school. Yeah.
I could see that by looking at your Instagram story and seeing what you listen to on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like it all came together for me.
It's all came full circle, didn't it?
Yes. I'm like, okay, now I see.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah. Now I see who Cristina is.
I love seeing what people listen to. I really think that tells you a lot about people.
Oh yeah.
I was all over the board this year in 2020. Like I went from like Machine Gun Kelly for some weird reason, and then Rob Zombie.
I like Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, I like some MGK, but
That new pop punk stuff he did.
this year. The
Offspring
came back for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Came back with a vengeance.
Hey, some habits die hard, right?
Yeah, man. Those 90s, early 2000s, man.
Yeah.
That's
Lit. That was another good one.
my shit. Oh yeah, Lit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I think my own worst enemy will be one of those songs that will stand the test of time because it just the way that it's.
That's always one you're gonna belt out anytime it comes on the radio or your Spotify or whatever it is. Like you're gonna sing that song.
Yep, and it takes you back to that happy I got drunk in high school spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's how I am.
See, I'm totally like I don't even know who you guys are talking about. You can tell
Good
the difference.
music, Shanda. You gotta look them up. You gotta get on the Spotify's.
Oh, I listen to good music. I'm just saying I don't listen to the same music as you both.
I think that's all in. I think it's all in the eyes of the beholder or the ears of the listener. So
exactly.
I think the Bears can capitalize on this game. I really do. I think the Bears have a really good shot because the firing of Matt Patricia and the GM. I think that whole thing right there has unstabilized an unstable situation. I think that they did the quick fix and they didn't look at what was really happening. And I don't think that offense is going to come together.
I don't know. And you fire a head coach, you fire a GM, a week before the next game, and you're expecting an interim coach to pick up the slack and completely prepare a team for a game on Sunday. The Lions really don't have anything to lose, but is it viable to win today? No, not really.
Just tank for your NFC North fan. We're all a family here in the NFC North. Just tank for us. Like just
help each other out.
Yeah, get you guys look at hiring coaches and GMs and get you a really good draft pick. That's what we're asking for you to do this week, guys.
Yep.
I'll do it. I don't have a problem with it. Tank for us. So I don't know anything else. Like the Bears have to play.
They do. I mean, honestly, I think they can do it though with the Lions. I mean, and I always think they can do it, but this is actually a game that I wasn't the only one believing that they actually could pull it off. So it was really nice to see stats saying that the Bears could win for once. I do think there's a chance of it being an upset because of team morale. I mean, team morale can do a lot, especially for one game as poorly as we've been playing. Because, again, it doesn't take much to beat us right now. We make a whole 20 points in a game. So, again, you want to score 25 points, you'll beat us all season, basically. So, I mean, and that's not even a high number. And that's saying, like, you can beat the whole team forever with just this little number. So, team morale, I think, is the only thing you really have to worry about. Whenever we watch the interviews, they are worried about because Nagy and Mitch both have winning records against the Lions. And so they both are coming into it looking like they'll win, but I don't want arrogance to get in the way because we never believe we're going to win. And it seems like anytime we think we're going to win, we don't win. So This season has really made me look like, please don't even think we're going to win against the Lions because I don't want it to be something. And then what happens if we lose against the Lions though? Do we just the rest of the season just put our heads down?
Yes.
Because if we lose against the Lions, Nagy needs to just take his visor off and retire right then because
the Lions do have quite a few out or not out that are questionable. Matthew Stafford, he has a thumb, is questionable. I think he'll play. Kenny Galloway, he's got a hip in cornerback. Jeff Okudua, shoulder groin. Those two are out. They plan to waive Marvin Hall, and this was on Friday, is what everything is saying. As far as injuries, Akeem Nicks was back in practice, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did I read that one right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. It looked like he was back 2 days in a row with that hamstring injury. And I cannot remember who was they were talking about the player that game time decision.
Yes, and I don't remember either.
Was
Roquan Smith?
For the Bears?
Yes.
Yes.
And Alex Bars. They did not practice Friday for undisclosed reasons that were not injury related. Nagy declined to elaborate, but when asked about Smith, said he expects the third-year pro to play on Sunday. Those are really it. Mitch Trubisky is going to be the starter on Sunday, and then
Foles is back, I read, though. At least he's
Foles has been practicing.
Yes, so he's back to practicing, but it looks like he's not getting that starting.
No, I didn't think he'd start, though, against them anyway because of Mitch's reputation with the Lions. I figured they would start him. I mean, it seems logical to do that either way.
They got 9 players on the questionable. Hakeem Nicks, Charles Leno Jr., Nick Foles, Jermaine Ifedi. I can't ever say that one right. James Vaughters, Josh Woods, Khalil Mack. He was questionable with his back, but he'll be in. Allen Robinson and Daryl Mooney, both with their knees. Questionable. I'm sure that they will be there as well. Just kind of that little speck that they always like to throw out there and keep people guessing on their toes. Mooney and Robinson have been very good assets, though, in that wide receiver spot. So Mooney, that 5th round draft pick, that's one of those diamonds in the rough that we're going to have to start really paying attention to.
Well, Robinson to be our best offensive player this year.
Right. So it's our favorite time of the day when we go straight for the predictions. Predictions are brought to you by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. And, we've got it. It's the Bears and Lions this week. We are 7 minutes from game time. So let's get this thing out. Cristina, what are you saying?
I'm picking the Bears today, 27-14.
27-14. That is what we've got from Cristina. I like Christina's pick. I think it's a good, educated, good pick on that end. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. But Shanda, let's go ahead and hear your pick for this game.
I'm 24-17. I think the Bears will win, but I always think the Bears will win.
24-17. So she's got them. Hey, it's a good pick. You've got them up a touchdown. I'm very proud of you for going the conservative route on that, because usually you're like, hey, it's the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. What's the pick? You're like 82-7. And it's like, no, it's not going to be 82-7.
Well, I have to believe for them, but this game I actually do think this is an accurate score and all that. I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way, which I'm just crying and pleading not to happen, but I think this is a fair score. Well,
I'm going right back to the old pick that Cristina made. We were actually talking about it right before the show. I was asking her, hey, what's your pick, so I can make the graphics. But I've got them at 27-14 as well. So I feel good about this game. I think this game will be great. I think we will have a lot more action. I think that we will see them play a lot better this time. And so I'm super excited about this game. I think we will have a lot of fun. Is there anything, Cristina, that you want to talk about before we go? Is there any predictions, anything that you think we should look for in this game here in the next few minutes?
Lions have really held running backs to about I think they've only had 2 rushers for 87 or more yards per game. So Montgomery definitely needs to step up and get over that 4 yards per carry average to make a dent. So
for sure. What about you, Shanda?
I don't know. I had predicted about 125 running yards for the team. It's just I don't really predict it to be a big game of doing a bunch of things, but I just hope we win. I really hope that the team morale, that they are still intimidated by the fact that Mitch and Nagy have a good stat against them, and that gets in their head more than the motivation of you getting rid of your head coach and things. Because if we got rid of our head coach, I honestly feel like we could win a game because of team morale and the same type mentality of just pulling it together and being that I'm going to show you it wasn't us type mentality. So I really hope that we come and play football like we can. I mean, because with people like Mac and Smith and Foles is, we've got Foles and Nish. So we have some players that can play if we go out there and play ball. It's just, are we going to or not? Are we going to look like the last game, or are we going to look like the second, third, the games we were winning? What are we going to look like is kind of, I feel like this season is a bunch of like, what are the Bears going to look like today? And it's been a gamble more than usual.
I 100% agree on the gamble. I think we need week 1 through 4 to show up, and that's really what we need. And I think this is the game to turn it around if there is a turnaround. If not, Monday's going to be a bad day in Chicago, and I hate that.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Well, guys, that's going to be the show. Get on right now. It starts at noon. Unfortunately, if you live anywhere outside of Chicago, you're going to have to get that on probably DirecTV or download it from some weird spot, which I think that might be a good thing for us to do. We may put on there Christina's favorite place to watch Chicago Bears games when you can't get them on TV. She seems to be the person that finds all of the great spots for it.
YouTube, wonderful thing.
Yes. So definitely be ready next week. Also, listen to us. We are now on the podcast, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, anywhere you can find a podcast. Watch us on Sportscaster, Facebook, Instagram, TV, IGTV. We're moving up. We're getting basic with it now. And then we are also on YouTube, Facebook Live. Follow us. Go to buymeacoffee.com. Deep in Chi-Town. You can check us out there. We have a great little spot. You can help support the show, grow the show. We love it. We want you guys to love it. So until next week, guys, have a good, safe time. Enjoy the Bears responsibly. Don't hurt others when they hurt us. And bear down. We'll see you next week.